Okay, so we're back with a new shop update this week. I want to talk about a few things. Number one being the project from last week. I want to follow up with that, talk about community for a few minutes and some other things that I'm involved with, and then also a couple of things that I've learned throughout this past week. So the first thing being the project, which was the newspaper article display. And really all it was is I resawed I think it was 8/4. I resawed a piece of maple, planed it down, made the board wider so the newspaper would have, it would fit on the board. And then I put a piece of plexiglass on top of that. But if you missed that video, I'll link it somewhere here and down in the description. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not to my main channel so you don't miss any future videos. But I want to address a couple of comments that were mentioned in the video comment section. And one of them was, I put the newspaper directly on the wood. I put a butcher block oil finish on the wood and the newspaper directly on top of that. And some people were saying that might cause the newspaper to yellow over time. So I went back and I put a piece of cardboard, a really thin piece of cardboard between the newspaper and the wood. So hopefully that will take care of that problem. And then also another concern was the newspaper sticking to the plexiglass over time. And that's something I'm not real sure about. If any of you guys out there have any solutions about how to seal the newspaper or how to, make sure it doesn't stick to the plexiglass, let me know down in the comments, because that's something I'm not real sure about, but I would love to know. I think those were the main things that were mentioned. I didn't do anything super fancy on it. I just, like I said, resawed the piece of maple, cut the plexiglass on the table saw, and that was basically it. So, but the video had a tremendous response. I mean, there were a lot of good comments, and a lot of people told me kind of just a brief summary of their story, which was really good. And so I was just really happy with the way everything turned out. So thank you for the support you showed from that video. I really, really appreciate that. The second thing I want to touch on is community. For those of you that don't know, we have a Stone & Sons maker group over on Facebook. And basically, we just created this for the people that want to follow Stone & Sons. We post pictures of projects. We ask questions. We just we talk. One thing I want to do in the future, I'm not sure when, but I want to do a meetup at some point, maybe for, I don't know, as far as local, I don't know how wide we want to go with this, but at some point I'd like to do a meetup with the folks in our group. So if you're not part of the group and you want to be part of the group, I'll leave a link down in this. I'll leave a link down in the description, and so you can go to that link and request to join. I'll approve it, and you'll be in the group. So it's just a way to form community in a different way. Okay, so let's just keep with the community theme for a minute. I want to talk about one more thing, and that is the woodworking classes that I offer in my shop. Now, this is just a localized thing. This is nothing that I record and put on YouTube or the internet or anything. This is something that I offer for homeschool children just in my local community. And the reason for me telling you this is because I've had a couple of people ask me, hey, I could probably do that myself. How do I go about starting that? Well, let me just tell you, it's easy as posting something on your personal Facebook page and asking, is there any interest in this? And if there is, people will contact you or say, yes, I would love this. Or if you don't hear anything from anybody, then you're probably not in an area that is big on homeschool. I don't know. But here there was some interest. And so long story short, I've got about 6 kids enrolled. And you just start having classes. Basically, you just do, take the first step and just hold a class. One thing that I did was offered a free introductory class for those that are interested, just to come out and talk, see the shop, kind of get an idea of what to expect. And then actually, once you get done with all those introductory classes, then you can actually start your classes after that. And I went a step further, and I made created a website, and actually had a way for the people that are interested. I could just direct them to the website. They could kind of read about it and sign up on the website and all that stuff. And I've got a different name for it. And so I bought the domain name and all that. But that's a different story. You don't have to go that far. If you're interested in something like that, contact me and I'll help you through that. But these kids, I mean, just to see their faces when they leave with a finished project, like the first thing that we made was a toolbox, a wooden tool caddy, a toolbox. And so one thing to note is that we don't use any power tools. It's all hand tools. I pre-cut everything. This is a progression. So we'll get to the power tools later if they want to. We don't have to do that if they don't want to. So we're sticking strictly to hand tools. Let me back up just a minute. We have used some power tools like an electric sander or a drill press, but we're not using table saw, miter saw, joiner, planer, nothing like that. But for right now, I pre-cut everything, and I let them assemble it, pre-drill it with a cordless drill. And so those are the tools that they would use that are considered power tools. But they really, really like this so far. I've gotten a really good response from the parents. And so I think it's a good idea. If anybody's interested in doing this, just contact me. And like I said, I'll be willing to help you through this. It's a great way to, teach a skill or to pass on some woodworking knowledge, or, get kids working with their hands, and all the while making some extra side money. This could be done on Saturdays or, Sunday afternoons or whatever, in the evenings. It doesn't have to be during the day. So it's doable. So I just want to address that because I had some questions from some people, and I just want to address it here on the video in case some of you others wanted to know the same thing. So anyway, so that's been a really good experience as well. A couple of things that I want to move on, a couple of things that I've learned throughout this last week. Number one, I've got a good friend of mine that is a beekeeper, and so he's been coming over and we've been cutting dados and some of his bee boxes and cutting certain dimensions. And I didn't realize there were so many specific size boxes that these bees live in or, create honey in. And I'm learning more and more about it. And it just is so amazing to think these little creatures are so particular and they can create this honey that we eat. I mean, it's just amazing. So anyway, so that's one thing I learned this past week. Another thing that I learned was I helped another friend of mine that owns a cabinet shop. And so he needed some help. And so I went to help him one day. And it was a really good experience. I mean, he does some really good work. But just the process of, I wasn't there while he made the cabinets, but I was there helping him install the cabinets. And that's a process all on its own. So that was a really good time to learn something new, and it was good. Change of scenery. So I had fun. So that's all I've got for you this week. But before we go, I want to take this time to thank John Thomas II. He is our newest Patreon supporter, our first Patreon supporter. So thank you, John Thomas, for your support. I really do appreciate it. So guys, that's all we've got this week. Please stay tuned for the next shop update, and check out our build videos over on our main channel if you're not subscribed there, so you don't miss any future videos. And like I said, I will post a link in the description or somewhere on the screen for the last week's video in case you missed it. All right, guys, have a good week. See you next time.